Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Here is Muhammad Mubashir Riaz. Students, today we are going to study our next topic, which is very important from the examination point of view: strain energy in deformed material. Strain energy can be defined as, which is also known as, elastic potential energy. Within elastic limit, the amount of energy stored in a deformed material due to work done by applied force or stretching force is called strain energy. Within elastic limit, the amount of energy stored in a deformed material due to work done by applied force is called strain energy in deformed material. What is elastic potential energy? So whenever you stretch a material, you are actually doing work. So this is because you have to apply a force and the material extends in the direction of the force. You will know that this if you have ever used an exercise machine with springs intended to develop your muscles. Similarly, when you push down on the end of a springboard before diving, you are doing work. So in these both examples, you are actually doing work, and that work done stored in that object in the form of its potential energy. So you transfer energy to the springboard and you recover the energy when it pushes you up into the air. यानी जितनी आप उस पे वर्क करते हैं वो एनर्जी उस स्प्रिंग बोर्ड में स्टोर हो जाती है और वही एनर्जी आपको अपवर्ड मूव करने में, जंप करने में आपको हेल्प करेगी. सो दिस इज नोन एज इलास्टिक टेंशियल एनर्जी एंड इट इज आल्सो नोन एज स्ट्रेन एनर्जी. We call this energy in deformed solid the elastic potential energy or the strain energy. But there is a condition: this amount of energy stored in an object within elastic limit. So if the material has been strained elastically, what is meant by elastically? The elastic limit has not been exceeded. यानी अभी इसमें elastic limit cross नहीं की. So the energy can be recovered. But if the material has been plastically deformed, अगर एक object plastically deform हो जाता है, some of the work done has gone into moving atoms past one another and energy cannot be recovered. So if object is or the stretching force lies within elastic limit, तो energy recover की जा सकती है. अगर elastic limit cross हो जाती है, object plasticity में चला जाता है, तो फिर वो एनर्जी रिकवर नहीं की जा सकती. सो हाउ कैन वी कैलकुलेट the strain energy in a deformed material? For this purpose, let we have an arrangement, and this arrangement consists of a wire whose length is L and it is fixed from its one end with some rigid support. Then a stretching force is applied at the other end of the वायर. फिर आपने वायर के दूसरे एंड पे लोड ऐड करना है या स्ट्रेचिंग फोर्स अप्लाई करनी है. आप नोट करेंगे कि इस स्ट्रेचिंग फोर्स के रिजल्ट में एक एक्सटेंशन देखने को मिलेगी. एन एक्सटेंशन विल प्रोड्यूस इन द वायर विच में इंक्रीज विद इंक्रीज इन द स्ट्रेचिंग फोर्स अकॉर्डिंग टू हुक्स लॉ. कि जब आप फोर्स अप्लाई करेंगे तो एक्सटेंशन प्रोड्यूस होगी, एंड एक्सटेंशन प्रोड्यूस्ड इन अ बॉडी इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू अप्लाइड फोर्स. So there is a graph which is plotted between two quantities. Number one, the stretching force, and number two, extension which is produced in the wire. And this graph is in this form, where along x-axis there is extension produced in the wire, and along y-axis there is stretching force. So there are three stages. First one is up to L1, then L2, and it is up to L3, and the stretching force respectively F1 and F2. So how can we measure the amount of strain energy? By using this force extension graph. आप इसमें इस ग्राफ की हेल्प से, फोर्स एक्सटेंशन ग्राफ की हेल्प से स्ट्रेन एनर्जी को कैसे कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. फॉर दिस पर्पस वी नो दैट work done is equal to area under force displacement graph. ये आप लोगों ने फर्स्ट ईयर में ये चीज नोट की है कि वर्क डन इज ऑलवेज इक्वल टू एरिया अंडर फोर्स डिस्प्लेसमेंट ग्राफ. Hence, the amount of energy which is stored in the wire can be determined by measuring the area under force extension graph. इसके लिए आपको फोर्स एक्सटेंशन ग्राफ का जो ऑक्युपाइड एरिया है उसको कैलकुलेट करना होगा, और उस एरिया की जो वैल्यू होगी दैट इज नोन एज द अमाउंट ऑफ स्ट्रेन एनर्जी विच इज stored in that deformed material or the wire. For example, the area of shaded region in this graph, this is a shaded region, there is almost a rectangular strip. So the area of this rectangle, we know that it is equal to length into width. Suppose its length is f and width is equal to delta x. So this is the amount of work done which is stored in the wire in this region for extension delta x. And the same results can be applied on the triangle OAB. अगर आप इसी तरह इस ट्राइंगल का एरिया कैलकुलेट करते हैं OA and B, where extension produced is L1 and the applied force or the stretching force is equal to F1. So area of triangle, we know that it is 1/2 base into its altitude, where base is equal to extension L1 and the altitude is equal to stretching force F1. So this is work done which is being done on the wire to produce extension L1 by force F1. इसके बाद इसको आप इक्वेशन नंबर 1 पेंडिंग छोड़ देंगे, W is equal to 1/2 L1 and F1. यहाँ आपने स्ट्रेचिंग फोर्स की वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करनी है. For this purpose, we can use the modulus of elasticity. And we know that modulus of elasticity is actually the ratio of stress over strain. Stress, which is force per unit area, and strain, which is L1 over L, where capital L is the original length and small L1 is the extension produced in this wire. So L1 over capital L. From this mathematical form, F1L over A L1, यानी modulus of elasticity को आप इस form में भी लिख सकते हैं. And from this mathematical form, applied force or the stretching force becomes equal to E A L1 over capital L, where E is modulus of elasticity, A is area of cross section of wire, L1 is the extension produced in the wire, and capital L is the original length of the wire. So F1 is equal to EAL1 over capital L. By putting this value in above equation, so work done becomes equal to 1/2 into L1 into EAL1 over L. This is the value of stretching force, EAL1 over capital L. Hence, the amount of energy stored in the wire, which is known as its strain energy, is equal to 1/2 EAL1 square over L. So with the help of this mathematical form, we can determine the amount of energy which is stored in the wire in the result of work done by the stretching force. If extension is increased from L1 to L2, यानी अगर आप लोड बढ़ाते हैं, स्ट्रेचिंग फोर्स इंक्रीज करते हैं और एक्सटेंशन L1 से बढ़कर L2 हो जाती है, then amount of work done by the stretching force, now it would be equal to the area of trapezium A, B, C, D. Now this is A, B, C, and D. This is a trapezium whose two sides are parallel to each other, and other two sides, they are not parallel to each other. So if extension increases from L1 to L2, then work done would be equal to area of this trapezium. Similarly, the same method can be applied if extension occurs from point O to G. Initially, point is O and the final point is G. So if extension occurs in the wire from point O to point G, then work done would be equal to area of OHG. यानी आपको ये फोर्स एक्सटेंशन ग्राफ का जितना भी एरिया ऑक्युपाइड है ये सारा एरिया कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा. सो दिस would be the total work done or the amount of energy stored in that wire in the result of applied force or in the result of work done by the stretching force. So this is a long question, strain energy in deformed material, and very important long question from the examination point of view, strain energy. Now it's turn to electrical properties of solids. चैप्टर नंबर 17 जो है इसको हम 3 हिस्सों में डिवाइड करते हैं. जो फर्स्ट पोर्शन था जहां तक अभी ये लास्ट टॉपिक आपका स्ट्रेन एनर्जी इन डिफॉर्म्ड मटेरियल है, यहां तक आपने सॉलिड्स की मैकेनिकल प्रॉपर्टीज को डिस्कस किया. अब जो चैप्टर का सेकंड पोर्शन है दैट इज बेस्ड ऑन द इलेक्ट्रिकल प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ सॉलिड्स. सो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिकल प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ सॉलिड्स we can divide them into 3 groups. First one, they are called conductors. Second, they are called insulators. And the third type, they are called semiconductors. So conductors are those substances through which electric current can pass. They are called conductors. जिनमें से electric current pass हो सकता है या जो electric current को conduct करने में help कर सकते हैं, they are called conductors. And their examples are metals. Metals are conductors. Whereas insulators are those substances through which electric current cannot pass, and they are called insulators. For example, wood, plastic, rubber. इनमें से electric current pass नहीं हो सकता, so they are called insulators. Whereas semiconductors are those substances whose conductivity lies between conductors and insulators. इनकी जो conductivity है वो conductors और insulators के दरमियान lie करती है. And their examples are the crystals of silicon and the crystal of germanium. They are semiconductors. So why conductors conduct electric current? Conductors electric current को क्यों conduct करते हैं? Because they have charge carrier in the form of free electrons. They have large number of free electrons and their conductivity is very high, of the order of 10⁻⁷ per ohm per meter. So they have very high conductivity and they have large number of free electrons. That's why they can conduct electric current easily. But on the other side, for insulators, their electrons are not free to move. They can't move from one place to another place. They cannot move like the electrons in metals. So their electrons are strongly bonded to their nucleus. And their conductivity lies in the order of 10⁻⁻20 to 10⁻⁻10 per ohm per meter. Whereas the conductivity of semiconductors lies between 10⁻⁻6 to 10⁻⁴ per ohm per meter, which is much better than insulators but less than conductors. So semiconductors are those substances whose conductivity lies between conductors and insulators, and they behave like pure insulators at low temperature and they behave like pure conductors at high temperature or ordinary temperature. So they are called semiconductors. Thank you.